So it's been about 2 weeks now that I have been on a raw vegan diet. Keep in mind, I have, up until this point, never even been so much as a vegetarian. So, growing up, my mom, she didn't make too much money and she was always kind of health conscious anyway. So she didn't tend to spend too much money on things that she felt were fattening. We didn't really get any kind of sugary cereals. She mostly just stuck to the basics, meat, pasta, potatoes, rice, a lot of beans, a lot of tortillas. Um, so that's how my diet was growing up. When I moved out on my own, I have a crazy sweet tooth. So that's when I started doing things like well, not even when I moved out on my own, but when um, I started having money that I could spend, I'd buy candy and cookies and cakes and all kinds of horrible stuff for my body. So I gained a lot of weight, and then I would do a lot of exercises to try to keep it off. I was never really particularly skinny, just because I really always had a problem with trying to control my eating. So uh, when I would get pregnant, it would become even worse because that's really the time when women are, it's not just okay for a woman to eat, but it's actually encouraged. So whenever I would get pregnant, I tended to gain a lot of weight. That's, of course, has changed. I don't really eat like that anymore. Uh, in about 2006, I really started restricting my calories. I started eating healthier. I stopped frying food, started doing a lot more baking meat and grilling and that type of thing. I, still indulge in cakes and cookies because I would because I don't feel like depriving yourself is the answer either. So I started exercising a lot and I really lost a lot of weight. So, but I still consumed a lot of chicken and fish and a lot of lean beef. So, this is really different for me. It hasn't actually been too bad. There was only one night where I wasn't a raw vegan. I did luckily, because I went to a sushi restaurant with one of my friends, and because of another friend who was a waiter there, Enoch, and he's a vegan, he recommended the miso soup instead of my usual egg drop soup. But I got a vegetable bento box. It was all vegetarian, it just wasn't raw. It was stir fried veggies with tempura veggies, salad with a ginger sesame dressing, and some big pile of rice, white rice. So it was pretty good. Um, I've lost quite a few pounds in the last couple of weeks. I probably have about the same energy level. I still do kickboxing about 3 days a week. I stopped running for a while because I wasn't sure how this was going to affect my energy levels. I think I'm probably going to be able to start my running again next week on days where I don't do the kickboxing. I feel okay. Um, I I don't think any kind of detoxing symptoms. I don't feel better than I did before. I do like some of the breakfasts I'm able to eat now because before for breakfast it was basically a Greek yogurt and maybe some fruit and some granola. This morning I had half of a pineapple. I threw in a scoop of coconut milk. I put in the juice of one orange and four strawberries, and it was so delicious. I'm a huge fan of fruits, especially pineapples, and it was really good. So that typically tends to be what I have in the mornings, I guess, is I'll make a smoothie out of half of a pineapple or half of a watermelon or half of a honeydew. Found that honeydew and celery are pretty good together too. I try to add some greens sometimes to my smoothies in the morning. I don't always worry about that too much though. For lunch, I tend to have a big salad with a mix of different greens and spinach and romaine lettuce, and I will put some red bell peppers in that. I'll throw in some cherry tomatoes, and that's pretty much about it. And then sometimes if I'm still hungry, I'll have like half of a mango, or I'll have some dried fruit, or I'll have some dates. And then usually around mid-afternoon I'll have some raw almonds. And then for dinner, I've tried a few different things. Dinner for me has been the hardest. And I tend to feel full without feeling satisfied, if that makes any sense. I feel like my stomach is full, but it's not full of what my body wants. So I've tried making zucchini noodles, and then I I blended up some tomatoes with some basil and oregano and poured it on top. And I would use a whole zucchini for that. I've also tried just making another big salad with everything that I've mentioned, plus some avocado. It's okay. I saw somebody make a burger out of a portobello mushroom. So I did that. I scooped out all the gills, cleaned off the portobello, wrapped it in some lettuce. I included tomatoes and red bell peppers and avocado. Again, I kind of felt like it wasn't really what my body was looking for. So if you have any suggestions, please absolutely let me know. And then usually after dinner, I'll go do my kickboxing. Then I come back home and I take some of my frozen mango and I throw in usually a scoop of coconut milk and a couple strawberries, and I'll throw that in my Vitamix blender, and it makes such a delicious ice cream. And then I top it with another dollop of the coconut milk because it's just like whipped cream, and it is so good. So that's what I've been doing. If you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. Obviously, since this is my first time even doing anything remotely vegetarian, I am by no means an expert in this. I'm just trying it out and I'm sharing it with you. So just in case you're trying it out too, maybe you have some thoughts, or if you're an expert at this and you have some suggestions, please absolutely let me know. So last night I did go for a run. I didn't do any of my kickboxing yesterday, but I did go for a run. It was a black light run, and $5 went to the Ronald McDonald's house, which was great. It was a lot of fun, and I have a lot of pictures from that. It was a great time, and I did run the full 5K, and I didn't have any kind of issues with that or with being tired. Again, I haven't had any kind of issue with any of my energy levels or anything like that. I don't try to cram the carbs in as some people recommend, just because that doesn't make me feel good. I feel bloated, I feel disgusting, I feel lethargic. My body wants to slow down so that it has a chance to digest all that food. So it's just that's just not good for me. But I'm not restricting either. I'm just basically eating until I'm satisfied. So just let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.